Oh no.
Missing.
Greg?
Missing.
I thought this was a duet.
Missing.
Oh, so you're just gonna sing all the parts? Those are not the right sounds. Can you hear me? Bonk.
Welcome to Miss Thing. I'm Greg.
And I'm Tim. And this is a podcast that celebrates and appreciates the Miss Things of the past, present, and future.
Yeah, in every episode, we take a key moment from our Miss Thing's storied career and do what we do best, which is make it all about us.
And this is a huge episode.
It is a major episode.
It's
You could probably
mayhem. Oh,
yeah.
Well, you were building it. I was.
Well, yeah. I was just trying to give them a little bit of pomp and circumstance, but that's fine. That's fine.
I'm too excited.
It's mayhem.
Yes.
It's mayhem on the podcast.
Mayhem release day. We are filming the day.
Yeah.
It came out.
We had to take to the mic.
Yes.
Whether and be warned, our takes are not fully baked, but we had to get on the mic and sort of just start talking about it.
For 12 hours. So, there will be some our opinions may change, but they probably won't.
Yeah, but we're going to give them. We're going to give them. We're being so Mayhem Millers today.
Yeah.
We're two Mayhem Millers
the
on
contacts in the eyes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Ooh.
Bloop. Bloop.
Only the Drag Race fans will understand that reference.
Yeah.
I think we need to get into the Oscars.
Yeah,
first and foremost.
Yeah, we need to do some housekeeping.
Yeah.
The Oscars were last weekend. They happened.
We need to take a moment of silence for the fact that Demi Moore did not win Best Actress.
Yeah.
This is a travesty.
Yeah.
The flags should be at half-mast.
At half-mast. I love that you said we need to take a moment of silence. First of all, we're on a podcast, and then also you just continue to talk. But yeah, we're taking a moment of silence in, theoretically.
Yeah.
Demi Moore.
We want the Gennifertias to do it.
But whatever you do, don't turn this off.
Yeah.
What a devastating blow.
It is crazy, cuckoo bananas. I don't understand it. I don't understand the choice. I think it's just a case of, listen, I'm not out here to give hate to Mikey Madison.
Absolutely not.
But I do think that there is like a statistic that I saw online. Again, no research, but I read it, so I believe it.
Yeah,
which is that
somewhere.
like if a woman is like plays like a stripper or more like sexually charged role, like more people will see it. More people will, like more women usually win an Oscar for like playing a stripper than they do for maybe playing an old woman in prosthetics.
Right.
And it's like, and it's so the premise of the substance, what happened.
Exactly. Interestingly enough, Demi Moore was probably more nude and more exposed than Mikey Madison in sort of every way. But listen, that's the decision. It was a tough, another election loss.
Yes.
It came at a very tough time culturally. But yeah, look, Demi looked amazing. I hope that this has opened the doors for more opportunities for her. And maybe, she's still young yet.
She's already filming, I think, the next Boots Riley movie, which I'm like, that's like a big director. So like he did, what's that movie with Lakeith Stanfield? Yeah.
Wait.
You know what I mean? Not Thank You for Smoking Dope Sick? No.
I was thinking Thank You for Smoking. But no, it's that really cool one with Armie Hammer. My doppelganger.
Yeah, right.
But that is a great movie with Lakeith Stanfield and about the
why can't we think about it? But it's a great movie, and everyone should see Nameless Movie by Boots Riley. House Down Boots.
Great movie
And we would be remiss if we didn't talk about the opening with our girl, Cynthany.
It's mayhem.
It's mayhem.
Mayhemonium. Cynthany was...
Cynthany. That's who came out in me.
Absolutely. You are so Cynthany.
So Cynthany. After that performance, she brought the house down. So good. That is going to be played at every gay afters from here until eternity.
Totally. I mean, that is the YouTube, the gay college students YouTube video from here on out.
I think the other highlight was the winners of Best Song.
Amen. me.
No, I can't. I'm the French director. I'm the French director rolling his eyes.
Well, see, I started, and then I was like, I'm way too on key and I sound too good.
Truly.
That was a shocking moment.
It was bringing me cringe moments from just flashback of that.
Yeah, Babadook vibes.
Yes.
Like, that will keep me up at night.
And then there's another big event that's happening today, so I think we should plow right into it.
Sure.
Which is the Traitors finale was last night.
Yeah, it sure was. Listen, we have been getting a lot of heat for our takes on the Traitors. Well, me specifically. Yeah, a lot
and love. You've been getting a lot of love
totally.
too. Yeah.
So a lot of people are really mad at me online for saying that no more Big Brother players should be allowed to play the Traitors. And hey, listen, I stand by that, and here's why. Let's look at the facts. Mm-hmm. Danielle played this game horribly.
Terribly.
So did Dan last year. But the main point I want to make here, first of all, I want to say I actually love Big Brother. I'm a former reality show producer. I worked in reality for years, and I know the show very well. And I think it's actually a great competition series. Mm-hmm. I will say I don't think the skills from Big Brother are transferable to the Traitors. And here's why. The last 2 seasons, we've had Big Brother people, legends on their show, who did break new ground and did incredibly well on their show. But they came in to the Traitors and they both broke the rule. The main rule is you are supposed to protect the identity of the other Traitors. Listen, Dan was doing really, really poorly on season 2. Phaedra was flying completely under the radar, and Dan went to the round table and threw Phaedra's name out of nowhere inappropriately. That is breaking the rule.
Yeah.
That's breaking the rule. And it ruined that season. And ultimately it led to, Trishelle and CT winning, which is fine. But I don't know if that would have happened had Dan not come in and done that and thrown a bomb in the middle of the game.
And that led to the next season because they saw that, so they knew that the Traitors could then potentially pull that into this season.
Exactly. But it was at an inappropriate time.
Yeah.
Danielle, this season, I actually thought she was doing pretty well, but she was really obvious. She was giving herself away. Danielle, in this season, went to Brittany at an inappropriate, inopportune moment and said, Carolyn is talking about you. I think she's a traitor. And no one's talking about her.
Yeah.
That came out of nowhere. So she threw Carolyn's name out there for no reason. And that is breaking the rules. So if Big Brother players are going to come into the Traitors, they need to play by the rules.
Respect the balance.
So if the Big Brother players can't come in and play by the rules, I at least think that they should not be allowed to be Traitors.
Yeah. And my thoughts on the finale, to get into the finale.
Is 20 minutes later.
I agree with what you said last week, which is that the show was ruined because this finale was not good. I mean, I'm happy. The only thing I wanted was for Gabby to win. I sort of was hoping I wanted Gabby to be ruthless and cutthroat at the end.
I was hoping for
that. Keep going so that it was just her.
Yeah. I was hoping for that.
And I did want Dylan out because it was too much like Pilot Pete from last year, which is like, I know he played a good game, but I was still just like, get him out. I didn't need Ivor, there was actually, it would have been funny if it was just Dolores.
Oh, by the way, I love the Housewives. I am not apologizing for Dolores. She was nearly impossible to watch all season. She's the only housewife that actually didn't belong there. She was throwing away her votes the entire season. I do not support that.
She never made sense. She'd be like, I'm voting for Dylan. And then didn't vote for Dylan. And it was just like, what are you doing? And then she was like, I can't do that to you. Or I can't remember what she said. And I was like, you are so goldfish brained. You change your mind every couple seconds. I will actually say that I thought that I was very relieved that Britney actually played the game well. She just was fucked by her reaction, which I don't think she can really help, because I do think she was genuinely very hurt. Like, she was someone who I was like, you like accidentally voted for Danielle just because you thought it was like, that's what everyone was doing. And then when you didn't actually like throw Gabby under the bus, that was a very smart move.
I agree. I thought that was actually great gameplay. So I will say one Big Brother player did decently well as a traitor, but only at the end. And even she was like, it's too obvious that you would make me a traitor, Danielle. Why would you do that?
Gabby, to me, is the only one who consistently, you were like, yes, you are paying attention. You are doing the right moves. You should have been recruited as a traitor. I would have loved to see you as a traitor.
That would have been great. That would have been great
the
TV.
The season that should have been is Carolyn recruiting Gabby.
Yeah.
They take it and win. That is the actual correct version of this season.
Right, I agree. It's the dress. We're watching two different shows. The Dress 2025. Some are seeing black and blue. Some are seeing white and yellow.
You want to know what dress I thought of when you said it's the dress?
Well, my shoulder just snapped, so what are you going to say?
I don't know if it's because we did Kate Hudson recently, but the yellow dress from How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. That's how gay I am. I was like, yeah, that's the dress.
Yeah, it's the yellow dress from Kate Hudson wore in How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
It's the dress.
The Traitors Season 3, 2025.
Okay, we've talked way too much about the Traitors, and we need to talk about the biggest thing that's happening today, which is the release of Mayhem, our queen. And we're doing something a little bit different for our first and most famous segment.
Yeah, DODMOMSOS, a.k.a. Doll of the Day, Mother of the Moment, Sister of the Second. Our first and famous segment where we take a person, place, or thing that we're currently most obsessed with. That, of course, this week is going to be our favorite song from Mayhem as of now, with the album not being out for 12 hours.
And I will say that I want to do a fun little twist, which is I'm going to predict what your favorite song is.
Sure.
And if you can predict it for me, because I don't know if you will. Okay. But I already feel like I'm going to be offended by whatever you say.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling that your DODMOMSOS, your favorite song, is Killah.
Interesting.
Am I correct?
No. I was going to actually maybe say the same for you, but I'm going to say instead, Die with a Smile.
How dare you choose violence out here on this pod?
Well, it's Mayhem, as we say, and I am Mayhem Miller.
You are Mayhem. You're Danielle. You're being so Danielle.
I'm accusing you at inappropriate moments of inappropriate things.
Yeah, you swore on my grandchild's life.
Multiple times. Okay. No, tell me. I want to know what your DODMOMSOS is.
Okay, my DODMOMSOS is How Bad Do You Want Me? I am literally obsessed with the song. I want to shake my damn hips to it. I want to
save it for off camera.
I want to lose my damn mind to it.
Okay.
I want to be in a Corvette on a highway, tossing my hair left and right.
Okay.
I want to have a pregame and invite all of my girlies and gays power hour to just that song.
And just play it over and over. Like Lin-Manuel Miranda played the Hamilton soundtrack over and over at the dinner party he threw for the SNL cast.
Exactly that. I want that. And I want to then every single person to have their own interpretation of their lip sync for their life to that song.
Wow.
And then we're going to take shots, go out, have the best night of our lives, except for the night's already over because we realize once we get to the club that song's not playing anymore. So then we come back and start playing it again. That's how good that song is.
Wow.
I'm obsessed.
I love that. I think I co-sign that. I really... Listen, it's a really strong album.
For me, I kept being like, there is going to be a skip in here. And I really I know that our spoiler alert, and I'm just going to say it, our Diva Down is going to be our least favorite song.
Just a little.
Yeah.
Teaser. Vita Von teaser.
And it was I was like really trying to figure out a way to be like, what? And I know there's only 12 hours. It's only been out for 12 hours.
Yeah.
But I am obsessed with, anyways, well, I know that
one's kind of, just because I'm not completely off book yet, that one's kind of ballady, right?
How Bad Do You Want Me?
Yeah.
No, it's the one that people are saying is out here, that it's a Taylor Swift song, which I want to say that...
Oh, I know exactly which one I thought it was kind of ballady. It's like, it builds. I really liked the build of that one.
I think that the people are just being like, oh, it sounds like a 1989 song. I'm like, well, first off, 1989 is a great album. It's if you think it's pop perfection, great chorus, great lyrics, fun, it makes you want to dance, then sure, that's yours. And I'm also like, the album itself, which I know I'm going all over the place because it's mayhem here, is like, it isn't clearly, there are so many influences on it, and I feel like it's like people are allowed to be influenced by a lot of different people, and also Gaga has been around for ever, and she's allowed to do many different versions of pop songs.
Yeah, I will say the sort of main influence here is Gaga.
Yes.
It's turning in on itself.
When we get to our Miss Thing, I wonder who it will be.
I wonder who it's going to be.
I'm gonna co-sign that. But I think you need to get into your DODMOMSOS, and I'm going to predict. Oh, wait, I already did predict.
You already did predict. Okay. I love that you predicted that one for my DODMOMSOS.
I so thought it would be that.
My doll of the day, Mayhem of the Moment, sister of the second. My DODMOMSOS from the Mayhem album is Love Drug.
Whoa. I am shocked.
Listen.
I love it. I just didn't think it was... Okay, go.
Listen, Love Drug. First of all, I feel like she has 73 songs that are named Love Drug.
I know. I was like, I thought it was the Kesha song.
Exactly. But she has 73 songs that are Love Drug. But I love them Gaga. All. It is so... Yeah, it's good, clean Gaga. It is a very smooth... It sounds great. Production's incredible. The lyrics are great. It's just... It feels... easy. It feels lived in. It feels like, which a lot of the album does. And I actually really liked, I had a runner-up for Dodd, which was Garden of Eden.
I almost said Garden of Eden too.
Yeah, it was an early contender for Dodd. I think it's a really strong like introduction to the album after the singles.
Yeah.
I loved
the order is great.
The order is great. It's super cohesive. Yeah. Like the album is just, it flows from one to the next. I mean, going back to Gaga being her own reference and, you know, the reheating nachos of it all. This was the perfect nacho bite. We got a little, like, the ratio
little sour
is
cream,
right.
A little salsa, a little guac, perfect amount of cheese.
Everything is on that chip. And then it's got the crunch.
Yes.
It weighs the exact right thing, feels good in the hand, feels great in the mouth, and it feels best going down. I just really love Love Drug right off the bat. I think like simple, clean, and clear. That was my favorite right off the bat.
And I mean I think you hit the nail on the head where I feel like Gaga is crunchy. That is exactly what she is smooth, but also gives you that crunch that you need that satisfies.
Totally. It's her hip.
Does she have hip problems?
Yeah, remember? Well, I didn't get to see the Monsters Ball because she came, she broke her hip. Did she break her hip or she was the
fibromyalgia?
Yeah, the hip was just bothersome. Well, I would imagine that hip has crunched a few times on the road and off.
It is. I can't wait to get into it, but I think we should take a break and then completely dive in.
Yeah. Get into our Miss Thing of the Week.
Who could it be?
Who could it be? We're back! And it's time for our Miss Thing of the Week.
It's the first Miss Thing that we're doing twice, and there was no other person that we would have done twice first than this icon and diva, because it's our first real bonding of ever Miss Thing that we talked about it the last time you did her.
Yeah.
But she is everything to us.
Everything to us. And of course, you never forget my college contemporary. Listen, if you haven't figured it out by now,
our Miss Thing of the week is Lady Gaga.
Yeah. We promised you mayhem. You're getting mayhem. We're talking about Lady Gaga again. This is a full episode. Lady Gaga just
extravaganza.
Exactly. Extravaganza.
Exactly. I am obsessed with this album to just blanket state. I haven't loved off of a first listen, like it feels like she is rewarding the day one monsters. Mm-hmm. It feels such like a return to the fame monster in a way but is also incorporating what she's learned from Born This Way, Art Pop, even Joanne, also Chromatica, like everything is put in a beautiful blender, and it's also fun. Oh. And she's not doing, I think the other thing which she's even said is like, it feels like before she's always like sometimes trying to like put a uniform on each album. And like there's a little bit of that where this is a little more like gothic vibes. Like it's a gothic dream fantasy for each song.
This album all sounds like a late 80s, 90s soundtrack.
It's
like it sounds like a movie soundtrack. You can clearly, for like a horror film, like The Craft.
Yes.
It just sounds like The Craft soundtrack.
It's so fun though. It feels easy. It feels like carefree. Like she didn't like overthink or try to come up with messages, but she was just like returning to like why she fell in love with music before, and she was just like, I want it to be all of these different things, and I'm not gonna think she like, and she even says she just wants it to be fun for you to listen to on a dance floor with your friends, and I think that she succeeded and then some.
I completely agree with you. I think the album is really, really strong. I do want to say I think it's a no skips. Like I know we're going to get into Diva Down, but like I think that the album it's quintessential Gaga. It's complete fan service.
While still being new.
Yes. Well, that's exactly what it is. Like every song sounds like her. Like there's a familiarity to all of it, and then she just takes it and twists it a little bit so they all sound new.
It's like what other people have like tried it. Like I think Katy Perry was like trying to return to Teenage Dream with her album and didn't necessarily succeed. Whereas with this, it's like she is reheating her own nachos, but also being like I saw her say this to an interview. She was like, "They're my nachos to heat. I'm not like." I was like, "This is the sound. This is my sound." Yeah, and she is perfecting it and being like, "Okay, now this is what my sound sounds like in 2025."
Yes, I think that she is proving just how excellent of a songwriter she is.
She's a perfect celebrity.
Well, okay. Another great song.
Yes.
Well, it's exactly what it is. Like Gaga is showing effortlessly.
Yeah.
Gaga is effortlessly showing her skill level here.
Yeah.
She's showing like, I know exactly what I am.
Yeah.
I know exactly the sound that I have created, and I'm playing with the form. Like, I think Chromatica was very, very fun. It was a solid album. There were so many great songs, but I will say, like, looking back at it, not to just to dissect actually a little bit, because like, it was so fun. I think the tour was one of the greatest I've ever been to, and Chromatica felt like a really nice return to form, but especially in the context of hearing Mayhem now, there was a little bit of distance from it. It was the first one that I don't think, she didn't have like writing credit on all the songs or something? There were,
I totally agree. I'm not sure on that, but I do think it's like, there was a little bit of it felt like removed, or that like she had to like suffer a little bit to get to some of, like, there just felt like there was something where she was like, I'm trying to make this whole like Planet Chromatica thing be a vibe. Yeah. And so she was like, it just felt a little bit like forced in some moments, even though I love Chromatica.
Yes.
Whereas this one,
love Chromatica.
And I loved the tour. I loved everything about it. But this one to me just felt like she's not trying to be like anything other than herself. And the thing, this is actually, I'm realizing in real time, my other DODMOMSOS, which is Michael, her fiance.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone,
give this man a queer tea.
Truly. Give this man an EGOT. I'm like, this man, It has been said that he loved early Gaga, and he is tailoring and bringing her back. And the other thing that she said in an interview, because I have been watching so many interviews with her because I'm so obsessed right now, is she was saying that basically like the difference with this album is like she always felt the need to like lose herself in wherever she was making her stuff. And she was like, it was so nice. Like my biggest fear, which I was never comfortable saying before, was like I didn't want to end up alone. Like I just felt like I would always be touched by everyone when I would step outside. And then when I'd come home, I would just be like so lonely and like starved for like a real connection. And she was like, and now I have that. Like now I have someone who like likes me not for any of the other stuff, and reminds me to like put it down, like that it's like this is like I need to be very serious, and encourages me to do it, but then I also can like come home and just like have dinner and like turn it off. And I think that the album shows that, where it's like she could have fun and like not make it too serious, like she had to go to another planet to make the album, and then like reset, come back and do another pop, and that is. And also her husband is encouraging her to do that, or fiance.
Well, she's found a perfect mate.
Yeah.
She's found a straight man who understands why she's great.
Yeah.
And is encouraging her to run towards that.
Yeah.
May we all know love like that.
People are loving Zombieboy.
A Halloween hit, for sure.
People are losing their damn mind to that.
Yeah, it does. The beginning is fully Hollaback Girl, so let's be real about that. Yeah. But, like, it is so... I mean, it would be so unlike the Party City compilation album.
The other thing about this album is, like, she is... clearly influenced, like it is very like she samples David Bowie at one point. For How Bad Do You Want Me, she samples, I think it's like Yahoo or Yazoo, or I can't remember who they are. It's definitely Yahoo.
Yahoo knows.
Yes.
Not
but it's
me.
like it's like clearly like she's very influenced by Michael Jackson, and some of it sounds like Prince a little bit. It's like very 80s, but also exactly like Hollaback Girl. Like I feel like it's like she's doing a different, there's someone for each decade that she's kind of like paying homage to, while all of it sounds actually just like Gaga. But I think it's time to do what we do best,
which is make Gaga all about us, which we've done so many times before at this point, and we'll continue to do.
Greg, how do you make Lady Gaga all about yourself?
Well, listen, as soon as it came up that Lady Gaga, that we would potentially be doing Lady Gaga again, it instantly popped into my head. I'm going right to Abracadabra.
Oh. So great song. We've already talked about it.
Incredible song. We've already discussed. One of a very strong single. But that song, of course, takes me to A Night at the Magic Castle. The famed LA institution.
Oh my God, this kind of makes me want to switch mine, but keep going.
My head instantly went to this story.
Yeah, go.
So I was lucky enough when we first moved to LA, I was lucky enough to get a coveted invitation to the Magic Castle So it was me, that friend of the pod, Racham, and her ex, who we will not name.
And it is a very exclusive place that you have to know someone to get into. It is a very hard, for the Gennifertias that don't know the Magic Castle, it's like literally the hardest thing to get into.
Oh, it's the hottest ticket in town. And you have to, you can only get invited by a member. But basically, it's a place where lots of magic and mischief happens. Like card tricks. You go, you eat dinner, you have a nice dinner, very expensive dinner. And then
the food is a little like hospital food. You're paying like $100 for you're paying $100 for a burger that does kind of taste like your high school cafeteria.
Yeah, I do think the cheapest meal is $100 minimum. That being said, it's a really fun night. Then you get drinks, you wander around, you go to different shows. There's 2 bigger theaters. There's a bunch of smaller shows going on. And it's mostly like cards, at least when I went. I don't know if you've been.
I've been twice before, and I shout out to Helen, who I know is listening. I'm not talking about it today because it's your Magic Castle story, but one day I will talk about what happened to my friend Helen at Magic Castle. Little teaser for at some point in the pod when I tell that story, but get into yours.
Thank God. And Helen, thank you for listening. We wish you so well. This is my story.
To our Ireland fans, we love you.
To our Ireland fans, to the airline that banned us.
Yes.
We are sending you love and light.
Yeah.
That being said, bed. Okay, so it's kind of, at a certain point, it's a long evening, you know, and at a certain point, the castle does start to thin out. People need to go home, go to bed. But we had, I think, been to like 2 or 3 shows, the bigger shows, and we weren't like totally ready to leave yet. So we were like, let's wander a little bit, got another drink. So we wandered on down to the basement. I think it's a basement. Yeah, I know. But it's like a tiny
little bar.
Yeah, little bar with some very, very small tables. And there was
like a sinister vibe for me. Yeah.
Listen, the vibes were off when we got down there. It was the end of the night, and there was a single old man working a card table in the middle of the room. It was like just us and him. And we walked in, and it just was not feeling great. Like, it was feeling like the energy was really off. Maybe he was probably tired. We were a little tired. It was the end of the night. But
I'm uncomfortable.
he needed to perform.
Yeah.
He needed to perform. We were paying the big bucks to be there. And we wanted to see a damn show.
As you should.
So we sit at the table, and he starts doing, you know, like he's doing individual tricks with each one of us. I'm at the end. He sort of is eyeing me. Like, he's giving me like a really stinky eye. Like, for whatever reason, I don't know what. Like, we're not simpatico, let's say. So, and I'm not really buying what he's selling. Yeah. I'm not like super impressed with his tricks. Gotta be real. So he gets to me. I'm at the end. I'm the 4th person to go. He does his little like card trick with me. Pick a card. I pick a card. He goes back. He's like kind of like fumbling. He's a little like, oh. He pulls the card. It's the wrong one. And he goes, this guy doesn't believe. He doesn't believe. He blamed me. He said that I don't believe, and that's why he did it wrong. And he's like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to go back. He starts doing the card tricks again, going back to other people. He's fucking up. He's off. He is off his game, and he keeps going, oh, he didn't believe. He didn't believe. The old man was blaming me for his poor magician skills.
And my mouth is on the floor. Yeah. I have been silent for the past 30 seconds because I cannot get over. That is, speaking of breaking the rules.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not the one with the sleight, who's supposed to have a sleight of hand here. I am very much present. I'm just keeping my eyes on you.
You know, they need to hire their standards for magicians at the Magic Castle.
Exactly. They are the best in the game.
Supposedly,
not this guy.
Neil Patrick Harris.
Not this guy who was blaming his shortcomings on me. And that is one thing that I will not accept from a magician.
That is despicable.
Exactly.
For you to dress up, spend $1 million on a dinner that is subpar, and then have to suffer through that travesty.
The accusations. Yeah. I was like, I'm going to get up and leave.
Yeah.
Maybe he was an intern. He was in his 80s, but...
Wait, but also that's making me think like maybe that's what we should be doing in our 80s.
Totally.
And just like not giving any fucks. Just like be at the Magic Castle. Like don't practice at all and then just blame other people.
Of course. Hey, look, I wouldn't put it past me. To be a ghost in that basement haunting the Magic Castle.
Maybe he was a ghost.
Ooh. Let's not think about that. You know I've been thrown downstairs by ghosts before.
Maybe that was... Did this happen before or after you went to London?
Before.
So I think that this was... He came back to get his revenge in London.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, enough about the ghost in the Magic Castle. Tim, how do you make Gaga? Once again, all about you.
Okay, well... This is the story that I referenced the last time around.
Yeah.
This is one that is...
The blueprint.
The blueprint. It is going in the memoir at some point. This is like one of my favorite stories of all time, which is...
One of mine too.
Yeah. I one time found myself at the Chateau Marmont, which for the Gennifertias that don't know, it's like the celebrity haven in Los Angeles. Also very exclusive, like very like all celebs go there to like get away and not be disturbed,
but also to fully be seen.
But like it's one of those things where it's like Lindsay Lohan, like when she was like at the height of her kind of like 2007, like being in the tabloids, and Britney, they would all go there. Like so many celebrities from the past would like just like stay at this hotel, and it has this huge lore.
Right. Didn't Lindsay Lohan stay there for like weeks or months and then not pay the bill?
Yeah.
Is she allowed back?
I have no idea. Well, but it's like just a very like mythical hotel at this point, and so many celebs love to go there.
Talk about ghosts, a real haunt.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yes. And so I found myself there. I was with an ex of mine, and we were sitting at their like outdoor restaurant. And as we're eating, I see in the table in front of me some beautiful goddess that I'm like, how do I know this person? They're wearing, and then all of a sudden I see what they're wearing, which is those like famous 6-inch heels. Just
no actual heel.
No heel, exactly.
Just front of shoe.
Fishnets, like corset bodice thing, no pants, and then a long velvet like cape robe.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
she's dressed down.
You
know, that's what she wears on the couch.
And this, who I'm talking about, is Lady Gaga. I'm at dinner. I see Lady Gaga in front of me. I freak out, and I like turn to my ex. And I'm like, oh my God, I think that's Lady Gaga. And he's like, no. He turns around, and he's like, holy shit, that is her. And I was like, and my ex was not the biggest Gaga fan. Not that he disliked him, but was just like, oh, okay. And I was like, this is my be all end all. I am freaking out. And he's like, you got to go up and say something to her. And I was like, you can't do that at the Chateau Marmont. Like, this is the one spot where like they should be like, let them have their privacy. I'm not going to be that one person who in the middle of dinner taps on her shoulder and says something. Like, that will never be me.
Right. Let them not eat their Caesar salad in peace. Okay?
And which is what my ex said, which is just like, okay, you're not asking for a picture. You're just going to go up and say a nice thing. I think that everyone likes that. You can be in and out in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And so the geography of this restaurant was like, our table, the table in front was Gaga, and then on the other side of that table was like another outdoor kind of like smoke room area. Mm-hmm. And so he was like, why don't I act like I'm going to the smoke room, and then you follow behind right after and just like follow into the smoke room area.
You're being so Demi Moore in the new Boots Riley movie. Thank you for smoking.
Yes, thank you for smoking. Yes. And so he goes and does that. I then like down 3/4 of a wine bottle in 2 minutes because I'm so nervous.
Oh, because you're nervous?
Because it's the classic Saturday night.
Yeah, I just drank an entire bottle of wine because I'm nervous.
Yeah, and I down the bottle of wine. I muster the courage. I like saunter over to her. I am about to tap on her shoulder. As I'm about to do that, she organically is getting up from the table. She turns around and I like freeze, and I'm like, hi, I'm so sorry to bother you. I am your biggest fan. Like, thank you for like everything you've done for the gay community. Cringe.
Oh God. GLAAD awards over here.
I don't know what I was thinking. But it just overcame me.
But it's like, it's true. It's the most genuine expression of like what she means to you. Yes. Like, she has done so much for the community.
Yeah, and I was just like so overcome. And then I don't know what happened next, but I then go, and this was right when she was filming American Horror Story Hotel.
Her greatest role.
And so to put you guys in time and place, Art Pop had come out, but Joanne hadn't. So Art Pop was the last album. And so I turned to her and I said, and Manicure should have been a single. Don't know why I needed to tell her that.
That feels like overstepping.
Yeah, it was overstepping. And in that moment, and the reason why she will always be my queen, she then very gently took my 2 elbows in her hands. She looked at me deeply in her eyes, made sure that I was like being seen by her. And she goes, thank you so much. That means a lot. And then she took those elbows and then just started like a conveyor belt moving me to the side. And I was like, what a queen to be like, I want you to know that you're getting this moment with me and like that I do really appreciate this, but keep it moving.
Totally. Amazon, like, just the line.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta go. You are fully elevated, too. Like, no wheels.
She lifted me up.
Yeah, she knows how to light as a feather, stiff as a board, anyone, just, like, with her two hands. She lifted you up, placed you to her side.
Very abracadabra. Yeah.
Very abracadabra. Ooh la la. Ooh gaga.
And me, in my head, I'm going all mayhem. I'm freaking out.
Yeah.
Quickly...
You're all Mayhem Miller eyes.
Yes,
again, once again.
Yeah, never forget. So I rushed into the smoke room to tell my ex, like, oh my God, this happened. And then he's like, oh, do you want, like, he had bummed a cigarette to, like, fit in while he was in there. That person had already left. So it was just my ex in there. And he's like, let's just hang in here for a couple minutes and then leave. And then he's like, do you want a drag of this? He wasn't a smoker, but just, like, when in Rome.
Sure.
And I was like, I have never smoked a cigarette in my life. I am so proud.
Mary Poppins.
I was like, I am never going to put that poison into this body. This body is a temple.
Of course.
I don't need to take one puff in and get 3 seconds less of my life, because apparently that's the statistic.
Totally. Yeah, whatever the statistic is, you were thinking about it and referencing that at that moment.
I was saying it. I was like, I will never do that. I don't even want to be in the presence of you smoking right now.
A full bottle of wine to yourself deep.
Yes,
exactly. But you wouldn't consider a cigarette.
And I'm on my soapbox, my 6-inch heels soapbox.
Sure.
And I was like... So then we're waiting. He's taking a couple puffs, and then we're like, I think it's time to leave. Just as we're about to leave, Lady Gaga enters. And to give you a picture of this smoke area, it is so small. It's basically the size of like 2 airplane bathrooms. Like, it is tight quarters.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh my God. I don't know what to do. I'm freaking out. And
she spots you.
She's got me.
Nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go in this closet. I quickly elbow him, and I'm like, give me a drag of your cigarette. And he was like, I thought you just... I like rip it out of his hand. I was like, Gah! I put it to my mouth. I suck in that poison. And in that moment, I'm like, you're not going to cough. You will not cough. There is no way. You're going to be cool, be cool, be cool. To which I cough so hard as if I am on my deathbed with tuberculosis.
Yeah, full Nicole Kidman at the end of Moulin Rouge. Blood in a rag.
Blood in my handkerchief. Yeah. I could not have made more of a scene.
Of course. Of gagging, sort of
vomiting. Gagging.
Yeah.
Like, it was like the most like chaotic thing of all time.
Sure. It inspired mayhem.
It didn't. Yeah, I do think she needed to recover from that.
Yeah.
You know? And so she very quickly and politely, like, found a way to skedaddle out of there.
Sure.
I was mortified, but also at the same time, I didn't realize that when you smoke a cigarette, it also heightens your drunk state. So I quickly then had to leave the smoke room and spent the next 4 hours throwing up. And I want to say I don't regret a minute of this story. Actually, it is the best thing that's ever happened to me in my damn life. I would throw up again for another 4 hours if I got the chance to interact with Lady Gaga.
To be avoided by Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
Listen, the silver lining there is that you didn't start vomiting in front of her. But wow, what a story. What a moment. I mean, also just being at that hotel.
Yeah.
And, like, you kind of go and you're like, well, who am I going to see?
Yeah.
And for it to be Gaga, I mean, just that is, like, all the stars aligned, all the planets converged, and everything.
It's just, like, the fact that it was also not, like, she was, like, off in the way that she was just, like, wanting to have a cigarette with her friend in the smoke area and, like, chat, and I was like getting to like creepily witness it coughing up along in the background.
Yeah, well,
I mean, life high.
Sure. Well, yeah. Like you definitely. I don't know how you presented. I can't imagine it was good. But that being said, you know, Gaga, she's always talking about 100 people in a room.
Yeah.
Like there's always a lot of people in rooms she's in. Mm-hmm. So like you do have
impression.
To. Yeah. You have to make an impression.
Yeah.
You have to be the one.
Listen, the beast in me, to quote this latest album, it came out. And I think she appreciated that beast.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I am so Idina Menzel, the beast.
You are. And I think there's nowhere to go but a break.
To break. Welcome back. And it is time for Diva Down Mayhem Edition.
Yes.
Again, keep in mind, we've had less than 12 hours to sit with this album, but we are picking a Diva Down.
Our least favorite song this week is going to be our Diva Down.
Yes. Our least favorite song from Mayhem.
Yes. Yes.
Mayhem
Edition.
Yeah, it's Diva Down this.
Yeah.
The way we're leading into this. Should we guess?
Yes, let's guess. What do you think my least favorite song is?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say The Beast.
I love The Beast. I think it's so camp. I think it's so camp. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think it's fun. I want to listen to that on Halloween.
Sure. I'm sticking with Adina's.
Okay. That's just and I think that your least favorite. Well, I just said this to you during the break, but I thought it was going to be How Bad Do You Want Me because it sounds a little Taylor Swift, and you're not the biggest Swiftie.
Yeah, no, that felt very Gaga to me.
I know that your least favorite song is Die With a Smile. That's what I'm going to say.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think we've got some surprises in store.
Ooh, okay, well, I'm going to get right into mine.
Please.
My least favorite, and this is where I teased you, Gennifertias, earlier on in the episode, which is I'm so sorry because this man made the album possible. But the song that is pretty much like an ode to him is my least favorite, which is Blades of Grass.
Oh, is that the unofficial last song?
That's the unofficial last song.
Yeah, because no one's sticking her out for Die With a Smile. Yeah, I mean, obviously, we're not taking that into account.
I just think Blades of Grass, she does do great ballads, and I appreciate that it's a little bit different than her past ballads on other albums. It just, for me, it's not my cup of tea. Mm-hmm. And I think the whole concept is about, like, you know, getting this moment with him, and all she needs is a blade of grass wrapped around her finger as, like, a wedding ring, basically. I'm sorry, but I would like a real ring if I was getting engaged. But,
totally.
But
Gaga does have a lot.
She has a lot
of resources.
And I think that's just my way of saying it's not the song for me. But I appreciate it that it's on the album because I think if we didn't get that song, we wouldn't have gotten everything else because Michael has his hands over everything in this album. And I'm kind of like, you deserve your own song, even if it's not my thing. I'm sure someone else out there likes it. Yeah,
you gave us this much. I agree with that. Again, it's, in my opinion, the last song of the album. Yeah. It is a little bit of like an in with a roar, out with a whimper.
Yeah. What is your least favorite song? Your Diva Down.
It's so interesting how little you know me. My Diva Down Mayhem Edition is, I'm going to catch flack for this, it's Killah.
Wow.
I'm sorry, it's too much song.
I so thought it was going to be your favorite because it's like a swing and it's like new for her and you're a contrarian, and so I was like, he's doing Killah.
Totally. And that's exactly what it is. It's a swing. It's a little bit of a swing and a miss first off the bat. I will say I think it's a good song, and I appreciate trying something new. I have to preface this with saying, like, I think it's actually good and it will grow on me. It is just too much song for me right now. It's doing a lot. Yeah. I think she's been spending too much time with Bruno Mars.
It's featuring the
Gefelstein, but it's like it's one song and then it's another song and then it's a little doo-wop. It feels very Robin Thicke, and we've moved past that as a culture. Not saying it's bad.
Yeah,
I just think it felt a little too out of place for me.
Okay,
and on first listen, that's why I like Love Drug. I felt like I want something to sort of feel like a part of the album and part of the whole, and because the album's so strong as a piece, that actually felt like it took me out of it a little bit.
I have a prediction though, because when I first listened to this song, I was also like, ooh, this doesn't fit, and I thought it was going to be my least favorite, but it grows on you. I've listened to it a little bit more than you have, and I do feel like it's actually like a breath of fresh air. You might not agree ever, but I do think that it's actually like the one thing that isn't like the rest, but also kind of like feels like it might have inspired other parts of the album in a way that I'm like, I actually normally wouldn't go for it, but it's grown on me even in the past 12 hours.
Yeah, see, I agree with you. I think it's going to grow on me. And there's a lot of elements of Gaga that I really like in it. Like the kind of the silly, jokey, rappy kind of thing is like, it's funny to me and it's appealing. It just felt jarring. Yeah. Now, you know, when you talk about like reheating nachos, let's say, like, whereas I think Love Drug felt like a nice crisp chip, this one maybe felt like it had been sitting under the pump cheese for a little while. And while there's a lot of cheese on that chip, the texture was a little soggy for me.
Okay.
Gaga, you have done it again. You've reinvented yourself.
Thank you for giving spring some life.
Thank God for summer. I just think we've got long legs with this album.
I am so excited to like go to the gym and listen to this.
Totally.
It's going to be my gym album for 2025. I can already feel it.
Totally.
And with that, we bid you adieu. Cynthia crushed it on the Oscars like we predicted, blew our minds, and go follow us at Missing the Pod on Instagram and TikTok. Give us 5 stars and above.
Still an impossible task, but we trust you, Gennifertias,
to figure
go
that
the
out.
distance.
Write to Apple. You know, put up comments, put up a story. Just engage with us, you know?
Exactly. And we
want to get engaged with you guys.
Yeah, we are engaging you. Yeah,
with a blade of grass.
Much like Gaga and her current fiance, who inspired this beautiful album. We want to engage with you.
Exactly.
And with that,
goodbye.
Bye. Miss Thing Podcast is created, executive produced, and hosted by Greg Trimmer and Tim Zintek.
It's produced and edited by Benji Simons, with cover art and additional creative support by Claude Zines.
Follow us on TikTok and Instagram at MissThingThePod.
New episodes drop every Tuesday. Watch on YouTube or listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Please subscribe, rate, and review, but only raves. Strictly 5 stars and above.
Follow Greg at Greg Trimmer and Tim at Tim_Zintek on all social media.
Bonk.